Hello, my name is Amir Takidin, and I'm an engineer here at ScienceLogic. In this video, I will showcase the new data egress publisher operator service that will be available starting 10.2 on the SL1 extended platform. The publisher operator, or just publisher, is a service that allows for the creation of subscriptions in a typical publisher-subscriber manner. These subscriptions can listen for data on certain data models and send the data on them over to another Kafka instance elsewhere, off-cluster, in real time. This allows for the storing, manipulating, and processing of the data in any manner chosen. Once it is off cluster, it can be operated on like any other piece of data. Here is a high-level overview of the publisher service. This image might look familiar to some of you, but here we have a more zoomed-in look. As you can see, data flows from a collector to a compute cluster. The publisher's data model listens for that data type and send it over to a subscription, which then sends it over to any external Kafka specified. The data is then debundled from that Kafka instance and placed in its final destination. We will go over each of these green components in more detail in the following slides. To get started, data models first need to be created to represent the data you wish to listen for. Data models are defined in YAML files and can be applied using standard Kubernetes commands. This is an example of a YAML file that defines two data models, availability and interface. By applying this YAML file to your SL1 extended platform, you enable the ability for subscriptions to read off those data types and send them outwards. With the data models created, you can now start defining subscriptions. Subscriptions are objects that simply listen for updates to the data types it is subscribed to and sends any messages to the given address. This is an example YAML file that will create a subscription that listens for the two data types we have previously shown, availability and interface. We can apply this subscription in a similar manner to how we apply the data models, and it will start publishing messages as soon as it detects messages are ready to be sent. Once the data is sent over, we provide a debundle library, the SL schema registry, that will allow for messages to be debundled into proper readable format, which can then be converted to JSON data if desired. This shows a sample script which can be used to debundle messages and, in this example, writes the messages to a file on disk. Now we will show a quick demo. Notice I already have my data models and my subscriptions created and ready to go on my SL1 extended system. And on my external Kafka system, I have the debundle script running in the background, and the directory it is running in is currently empty. I simply need to generate the messages on either topic, and the data models will pick them up, send them to the appropriate subscriptions, which will then send the messages over to the external Kafka system, and the debundle script will then populate a file with the data. As you can see, the messages were sent over by the subscription and a file was created and populated with the JSON representation of the data. Note that this is just an example and writing to disk is not a requirement. Once the data is off cluster and on an external Kafka, it is free to be processed in any way. We hope this was an informative introduction to the new publisher service. Thank you.